Here's a full, engaging, emotional story built around that striking setup, perfect for approximately 15-minute YouTube narrative with a powerful hook, emotional depth, clear challenges, and a strong, inspiring message by the end. Plain paragraphs, long form, and cinematic in feel. The moment he stepped onto the polished teak deck of Victoria Langford's super yacht, time didn't just slow, it froze. Champagne flutes hovered midair. Conversations died on half-formed breaths. The sun, just dipping behind the distant skyline, seemed to hesitate at the horizon. And all eyes turned to him. Victoria stood at the center of it all, resplendent in a burgundy gown that shimmered like firelight, her jaw clenched, eyes sharp as the blade of a knife. This was supposed to be her night, the annual Langford Gala, a celebration of success and power, where champagne flowed like rivers and every elite in attendance drank from the cup of her influence. But in that single heartbeat, her world cracked wide open. The man before her wasn't just any stranger. He was the one she had paid to disappear. For 3 years, Victoria had believed she'd rid herself of her past. She'd spent millions on a clean break, new identities, offshore accounts, silence guaranteed. He was gone, until now. And here he was, calm in a tailored navy suit, scanning the stunned faces around him as if he belonged. Victoria's hand trembled just slightly as she finally spoke, voice low and fierce. "You were supposed to disappear." He met her gaze steadily, not with anger or fear, but with something softer, more determined. "You never asked where to." A gasp rippled through the crowd. Victoria's mind raced back to the night she lost herself, the night she made the choice that shaped everything that followed. She had been young, ambitious, desperate to climb, to belong, to prove herself in a world that demanded perfection. And in her ascent, she'd made a mistake, a terrible, irreversible one. A mistake that had cost someone their future, someone she'd convinced herself was collateral damage. That mistake was him, and now he was here. When he spoke again, the tension softened, curiosity replacing shock. "I didn't come for revenge," he said. "I came to return what you stole." Victoria blinked, confused, unsettled. From inside his jacket, he pulled out a worn photograph. It wasn't just any picture. It was a snapshot of a child, bright-eyed and laughing, the same child she'd erased from every record, every memory, every registry she had access to. She had told herself it was necessary, that it was for the greater good, that the world would never know. But here it was, returned to her in physical form, a reminder of everything she'd buried. The deck was silent now. Even the sea seemed to hold its breath. The crowd of high society guests retreated, murmuring amongst themselves, sensing a drama far beyond mundane scandal. The security officer behind Victoria shifted uneasily, uncertain whether to intervene or step back. But Victoria didn't flinch. She took the photograph from him, fingers brushing, eyes locked, and something inside her broke open. Tears she had never allowed herself to shed welled up, but she blinked them away. Not out of pride this time. Out of acknowledgement. For the first time in years, she faced the truth she had long denied. I thought I was protecting everyone," she whispered. "I thought erasing you erased the pain. I thought it made me safe." He nodded slowly, sadness in his eyes, but no malice. "You protected your empire," he said gently. "But not your heart." In that moment, Victoria felt the weight of her choices, the cost of ambition untempered by conscience. The applause and laughter from earlier in the evening, the adoration of the elite, all seemed hollow now. What good was power if it meant sacrificing pieces of yourself that could never be reclaimed? The guests watched, transfixed, as something remarkable unfolded. Victoria Langford, the unshakable, unbreakable, untouchable force of influence, lowered her gaze and met her past with honesty, without excuses. She offered no retreat, no denial, just truth. "I'm sorry," she said, voice trembling, yet clear enough for everyone to hear. "I was wrong, not just to you, to the person you were, to the life I took away. You deserved better than to be forgotten." The man's expression softened, not with acceptance of her apology alone, but with recognition of her courage to finally speak it aloud. There was no triumph in his eyes, no victory in her defeat. Only the weight of shared history, and the beginning of forgiveness. Victoria turned to the crowd, the photograph still in hand, and she spoke again, not as a queen addressing her court, but as a human soul stripped bare. "No matter how high you rise, how far you push your past away," she said, voice steady, "it doesn't disappear. It shapes you, and only by facing it, truly facing it, can you become whole." There was a hush, not of awkwardness, but of deep reflection. The champagne finally fell, splashing into glasses like rainfall breaking a drought. But this time, it wasn't an interruption. It was cleansing. Victoria didn't know what would happen next. She didn't know if forgiveness could fully heal what was broken. But she had taken the first step, truth. As the sun finished its descent, painting the sky in strokes of amber and violet, Victoria and the man stood together, not as adversaries, nor strangers, but as two lives forever intertwined by choices both painful and profound. And in that moment, the richest celebration on Victoria's yacht became something far more valuable than any gala could ever be, a lesson in humility, courage, and the power of redemption. If you want, I can also craft a video script version with timestamps, narration cues, and emotional music suggestions.